What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at Jordan Love, quarterback out of Utah State. Um, he's already declared for the draft, and I did make a video about him before the 2019 season. So, yeah, if I remember, I'll try to put the link to that video in the description of this one. I'm going to go ahead and look at some of his stats before we get into the film. Also, as far as film goes, draft breakdown, of course, is no longer a thing, which makes things kind of tough. So, shout out to this guy here. I don't know how to pronounce that, but shout out to him. I'll put try to put the link to to this original video in the description as well, if you want to check that out on your own. So yeah. Anyway, taking a look at his stats. As you can see, he had a significant drop-off in his numbers going into this season. A big part of that is because of a coaching change. And the thing about Jordan Love is he has a very good arm. He's shown images of being able to be accurate and throw into tight windows. He's got some mobility for sure. And when I say he's got an arm, he's got a cannon. It's a really powerful arm. He can throw on the move. He has all those traits, but his decision making isn't the greatest. I'll be honest with you. And even though he is able to move, I do like him better in the pocket. He's got pretty consistent mechanics. He seems to operate better from the pocket. And even though he does have that strong arm, he has shown the ability to throw with some touch. But like I said, that decision-making is what has really hampered him. And a big part of that is because in 2017 and 18, not so much in 17 because he didn't play as much. As you can see, his numbers were just low because he didn't play as many games. But in 2018, his coaching staff didn't really let him make decisions. He just was told to throw to the receiver that the play was designed for. So, for example, on a play, maybe you're supposed to hit the running back on a Texas route. He's only supposed to look at the running back on that Texas route. You don't. He wasn't told to survey the field much. And then moving into 2000 and that pretty much made it where he couldn't learn how to do that. And then moving into 2019, he was given a little bit more responsibility. That's the word I'm looking for. Jesus. And he was supposed to look at second and third reads, which he had never really done before. And I think that's a big part of why he dropped off. Also, Utah State is terrible. Their receivers, their running backs, their offensive line, it's all awful. And because of that, he sometimes looks like he's trying to play hero ball, like he's scrambling around, throwing the ball off his back foot, that type of thing. And I think that really hurts him too. You can kind of see that with players like Jameis Winston, even in the NFL. Not comparing him to Jameis, because I think this guy has some potential. But with that, let's just go ahead and get into the film. I gave myself some timestamps. I looked at a bunch of film of him, even before making this video, but I'm just going to use this game against Wake Forest as an example. I have some timestamps ready. So with that, let's just go ahead and get right into it. Let's go full screen. I do have the audio turned off because I'm not trying to get copyright problems. I do got it slowed down a little bit too. Right there, number 10. Obviously, quarterback. But, yeah, that right there is one of the examples I was talking about of him being able to throw into tight windows. Take a look at this. And also look at his mechanics. I mean, it's not the greatest. His mechanics aren't the greatest, but they're solid. He has a nice wide base. He sets his feet, and he throws with his whole body. And that's a tight window that he just threw into. He had to get it over this guy, which looks like the linebacker, and then he also had to make sure it was away from the DB, right on the sideline. That's a play that not a lot of college quarterbacks are capable of doing. That right there is an NFL caliber throw. And that just shows evidence of him being able to do stuff like that. Okay. Let me go ahead and go to the next timestamp. I got it marked at 2:08, so I'm going to go to 2:07. And as you can see right there, that's a part of his decision making. He was starting to get pressured here. The left tackle was starting to fail him, and actually so was the right tackle. And this dude's actually getting double teamed, and he's still failing. Right now, I would have loved to see Jordan Love get outside and just kind of scramble. Like I said, he has some athleticism, and he's only 3 yards away, or even just get out and throw it away. But either way, don't do this. I mean, that was definitely covered. That was a really bad decision. And that's the type of thing that he really needs to clean up. I'm hoping that a really good coach can get a hold of him. I'm hoping that whatever team he goes to, he doesn't have to start right away. So, yeah. Let me go ahead and go to the next timestamp. Got 2:44, so let's go to 2:43. And I'm actually going to go full speed on this one because this shows off his throw power, and going full speed will be able to show that off a little better. And that's actually a really tight window too, being able to get it perfectly over the defender's head. Let me go ahead and slow it down again. Because the dude does have an arm. And being able to just sneak it right past the corner, I'd like that to be a little bit further to kind of lead the receiver a little more, but that's still a beautiful pass. He made it where the corner had no chance of getting that or even batting it down. That was just a really good throw. I guess I can let it go from this angle too. Again, pretty decent footwork. Not the greatest, but it's consistent. And it works for him, so it's fine. 442. $441. That right there is what I'm talking about when I say that Utah State is terrible. Perfect pass, this dude's wide open, and he just drops it outright. And there is a lot of plays like that where his receivers are just letting him down, the offensive line is letting him down. Like, it's just awful. And it gets into this mindset where he has to play hero ball. That's why I really did support his decision to go into the draft early, because Utah State is actually making him worse at this point. I think he needs to get to the league. He needs to get with a good quarterback coach to help him with his decision making, because he has all of the skills to get it done. He kind of reminds me of Drew Lock a little bit. Really good arm, some mobility, has all the right fundamentals. It's just his decision making that needs to get cleaned up because his coaches kind of held him back. A lot like Drew Lock. And he sat a little bit with Denver, and they're having a little bit of success with him. So hopefully he can kind of get a similar situation. 509. Right there is, again, his decision making. That didn't actually get picked off because the defender dropped it, but it should have been picked off. It absolutely should have been. His only real option here, and I think this is actually an example of him not being able to really make decisions, but because he had a receiver sort of getting open here, and what does that receiver do at the top? Yeah, that's a curl. He could have popped with the arm he has. He could have snuck it to him as well. I think he could have got it over this linebacker to this receiver too, with the arm that he's got. But that was just really bad decision making, and that's something that he really needs to work on. Utah State has really hampered him by not letting him make decisions. I've spoke about it before. I hate colleges that do that. Because when they get to the league, man, you can't have those issues. You're stunting their growth when you do that. Okay. 550, so I'm going to go to 549. I like to go to a second before. Yeah. A little bit more of that decision making I was talking about. He threw it to a receiver that was really well covered. Because, again, he's not allowed to make decisions. And it ends up getting picked off. Let me see. Was there any better options? Yeah. This dude right here. If he fires this right now, he might be able to get him. And again, it's 3rd and 3. This dude's athletic. If he rolls to the left, he might be able to get some yards. Literally anything is better than that throw, or even just get outside and throw that ball away. Throw that thing to the third deck. Make Brett Favre proud. But yeah. Okay. This one's a little bit more positive. Just going to let it run. God damn. See, that's why I really am mad at Utah State. Like, legitimately, I'm pretty mad because you see that raw ability that he has. I'm gonna let it go full speed so you can actually see that arm strength. He's on the move and he just fires a bullet to the sideline. That is a fantastic throw. There's not that many quarterbacks that can make that pass. Especially on the sideline like that, and getting it where the receiver can still catch that inbounds. That's fantastic. That's a fantastic play. And that type of thing is why, like I said, I'm really mad at Utah State. Because I dropped my headphone. But that's why I'm really mad at him, because he has so much talent. He has the mobility. He has the arm strength. He's shown flashes of accuracy, but by them hindering him, by not letting him make decisions, it just, it's going to really hurt his draft stock big time. Not going to lie, this is kind of a guess here. My handwriting was kind of bad on that number. I think that's 646. I think that's a 4. Also kind of looks like a 0, but yeah, hey, whatever. Got it marked as a tight window, so let's find out. Yeah, okay, cool. I was right. But again, this kind of shows off his arm strength, and also being able to sneak it past this defender, and make sure that the safety isn't going to be able to get it. That's a fantastic NFL caliber throw. There's a lot of NFL quarterbacks that can't make that throw. So the fact that he's showing that you can do that, he's capable of that. It just really is showing of how talented he is. The last one I've got is 904. Let's go to 903. Another fantastic throw. The receiver lets him down there. That's also kind of an example of the team being bad. But he put it perfectly on his hands right in front of the defender. And he just dropped it. Oh, man. But no, this dude he has a lot of talent, legitimately. He has a really good arm. Like I said, he's shown flashes of accuracy, mobility. He's comfortable in the pocket. His footwork is fine. It's not fantastic, but it's fine. But he just needs some more coaching. I don't think he's necessarily ready for the NFL, but Utah State is only going to make things worse for him, so I'm kind of happy that he did declare for the NFL draft. I hope he goes to a situation where he's not going to have to start right away, whether that be with the Raiders, because it doesn't look like Derek Carr, Jesus. Doesn't look like Derek Carr is going to be staying with the Raiders too long. Or maybe the Saints because Drew Brees is getting old. The Steelers, looks like Mason Rudolph and Devlin Hodges aren't their guy. They can get him in a later round and develop him under Ben. Situations like that, maybe Green Bay with Rodgers or even New England really with Bree. I mean, Jesus, I can't talk right now. Brady. But, yeah. I think if you get him under a good quarterback coach that can clean up some of that decision-making, maybe sit him down for a year or two and really, really hammer that home, I think he has a lot of potential because he has all the physical traits you need. If you get him a good coach, he's going to be fine in the next level. As far as where I think he's going to go, I don't really know for sure. I wouldn't draft him in the first round. Maybe not even the second, because I think he's a development guy, but I think he does have potential eventually. Like I said, I don't really like player comparisons, but he kind of does remind me of Drew Lock that way. He has all the talent in the world, but if a coach just needs to get a hold of him and fix some of his decision-making issues. And early on, if they can design plays, if they've got a really good offensive coordinator, kind of like what they're doing in Denver right now, if you can design plays where he doesn't have to make decisions at first and he can just throw to his first read, he can have some success early as you work on that decision-making with him. That's what Denver is kind of doing with Drew Lock, and it's not totally unheard of to do that. You just have to have a really good play caller. That's all. But, yeah. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I would appreciate you hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.